Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Everything seems to be working. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. So yesterday, somebody said I needed to drive the Ferrari hypercar on Coda to make sure that I can drive this car safely on all the tracks. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. It's time to go practice. Okay, right away. That could just be a cold tire thing. Just keep on going around the track here, trying out different setups, trying to find the one that will suit me and my driving style the most. Okay, having a hard time turning the car to certain corners. Not an easy track to get by slower cars, I can tell you that. This is a very twitchy track. Ooh. I'm missing some there. Ooh. So far, so good. Very drivable. I just wish it could, on the corner exits, turn a little bit more. Whoa, sorry, dude. Seem to be pushing the tires here a bit sideways. Whoa, okay. Times it really wants to turn. Sometimes you're in the turn and you're wishing it would turn a little bit more.
Yuki2488 says, hey.
Hey Pookie, hellos, how are you today? Trying out the Ferrari. This car has a lot of quirks.
Puki2488 says, saw the lap times yesterday.
Yeah, in the Discord. Do you like those? Pretty cool, eh?
Puki2488 says, the Ferrari is okay, I like the Porsche and BMW better.
Well, the Porsche has really bad brakes. I haven't tried the BMW too much. Don't get me wrong though, the Porsche does handle well. It's just it has really bad brakes.
Puki2488 says, I like the BMW just because of its incredible top speed.
Does it still have that incredible top speed? Because a lot of cars have been nerfed and rebalanced throughout the last couple of updates. But yeah, when I did try it, I was catching up to other hypers and straights. But most tracks don't have much straights, so... I think I need a car with a little bit more acceleration more than top speed. Whoa! Okay. That we did not want to have happen. Okay, how can we start fixing this car?
Puki2488 says, it is perfect for Le Mans, Pau Ricard, Monza and Spa.
Okay, let's try that. Yep, those are all great tracks with a lot of straights. I like tracks with a little bit more twisties. I really like Coda. But it does get crazy absurd at times. Ferrari has to be the most noisiest of cars. Turbos make high-pitched sounds, the brakes. Everything about this car is super noisy.
Yuki2488 says, from the Ferrari I love the battery recharge V9 under braking.
I'm just trying to keep it on the track without losing it.
Yuki2488 says, well, I am off to play nuclear option.
Okay, have fun with that. Thanks for stopping by and leaving a like. Much appreciated.
Yuki2488 says, bye.
Bye. Whoa! He's going into the pits. Wow, that was bad of him. Coming out of the corner, he should have already figured that out. Oh, and he did get me some damage here. Dang it. Alright, let's try this again.
Justin Slim Friesen says, afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Justin. How are you today?
Justin Slim Friesen says. Good. You?
Good. Taking up your advice here. Trying the Ferrari out on Coda. See if I can keep it on the track without losing it. Not an easy thing to do. And this car likes to squeal a lot. Turbos, the brakes, everything's noisy. So, what's new with you? What have I missed? If anything? Probably everything. Fell asleep on Glenn's stream last night. I have brake issues. No, it's throttle issues. I was like, just get yourself some Simpsons. Ooh, come on, turn. I'm pushing the car a bit too much, perhaps. Need to push it more. at the sausage. Wish it would grip just a tide more here. I tend to come in too quickly. Do I need to brake more? I need to fix my rev lights. I did it like for a couple of cars, for like the Peugeot and the Genesis and the McLaren back in the day. I think though I should do like a low RPM, mid RPM, and high RPM. I'm always trying to match what's in the car, but I got my Peugeot's RPMs up, but I guess the Peugeot revs a lot more than this Ferrari, because by the time it blinks to switch, that's when my wheel starts climbing the RPMs. Like, I got no lights here whatsoever. Nothing. It's only when it's blinking that it starts going up, so I should make profiles for, I don't know. Let's say they start blinking at 91% or 93 or 95. Keep it stupid simple like that, instead of always having the lights trying to match the displays that I have in each of these cars, because I'm switching cars too much. Oh, I fooled a little bit with the caddy earlier. I think I resolved that spinning out that I kept getting. It's all thanks to our new that explained that, you know what, sometimes it's mechanical and it's not aerodynamic. So playing with the differential preloads, coast, and power, because that's what kind of was happening with me with that caddy on the Barcelona track, is when I was coasting, I would just lose the rear. So yes, I can adapt my driving by always having a little bit of throttle. which I may or may not be able to do with my skill set. Or I can lower the coast and up the preload just a tiny bit. So I tried that, and all my issues with the caddy disappeared. Now I'm no longer losing the rear when I'm coasting. And managed to get it into that 135 bracket that I was kind of aiming for. Dakota doesn't seem like a very long track, but there's so many slow corners. It takes you 2 minutes to go around. I mean, compared to Silverstone, where, you know, another 2 minutes to go around, but I think you go around a lot faster. This track you need a lot of mechanical grip, because these corners are not fast. I guess Justin is busy doing something, because he hasn't said much, which is not normal for him. Usually he's a lot more chattier. Whoa! Okay, that's what I'm trying to avoid. So maybe just not come out of there in first gear. Should I lower the power and up the preload a bit more? Just in case sometimes I do come out of there in first. Sometimes you downshift to first gear following the GTs. Well, I always remember to put it in second before pushing it. Oh, okay.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Yes, sorry. Was doing laps in SFL.
What is SFL? Saturday Fun Friday League?
Justin Slim Friesen says. Super Formula Lights. In iRacing.
Oh, okay. Super Formula Lights. Is that the go-karts that have no wings, no nothing? It's just like a Formula One body, open wheel, no wings, no nothing. Whoa, that was fun. I was looking at iRacing, and it's like, well, it's only like 13 bucks, the subscription. But then, you know, you got 170 maps at 15 bucks each. So that's 2,500 there. And you got like 170 cars. 12 bucks each. That's another 2,000 bucks. Well, basically, you know, yeah, it's 13 bucks subscription, but you also kind of need to spend 4,000 bucks. I mean, if you did it over time since the game release, I guess it ain't so bad, but
Justin Slim Friesen says. No. Heard of Super Formula? It's a class in Japan. Similar to F1. SFL is similar to F3.
okay. Super Formula, okay, it's not super light formulas. Okay. No, I've never heard of it. I have no idea. You know, I don't pay attention to Formula 3s and 2s, and like I don't really even pay attention to what kind of cars are in the F1 Academy. I just like watching the girls go around and crash out. And I definitely don't pay attention to Formula Electric.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Those would be F3s.
F3s and F1 Academy? Really? Okay.
Justin Slim Friesen says. I think. Could be F4s though.
So is it like everybody basically has the same car and you have to rely on your skills and your setup? Because it ain't like F1 where everybody's different and some cars are stronger than others.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Yes. All F racing is spec, until F1.
Okay. Interesting. So then you have to buy the car and then you have to buy the tracks to be able to do that thing. Oh, and I also read that for the longest time, fans have been asking iRacing to put in Bruno track, and for some reason they never hinted that it would be done at some point. It's like they all just decide to ignore the many enthusiasts that are asking for the track, which is a real shame. Seeing that track that Glenn was racing on, like, oh.
Justin Slim Friesen says, BRB. Moving to TV.
Oh, okay. Oh, you could have continued playing iRacing. Coming in too hot. I really want to floor it against that Corvette, though. Coming in too fast.
Justin Slim Friesen says, well, it's hard to blame iRacing for that. There's 100s if fan requests, I'm sure.
Well, I would still blame them for that. Given that, you know, like I was saying, the track
Justin Slim Friesen says, does Bruno still exist?
Yes, it does. Automobilista 2 got the rights to it. Laser scan version of it. Project Cars had it. And there is a mod for Assetto Corsa. Not sure about R Factor 2. I do know that it was in R Factor 1. That's when I discovered the track. But people have been asking for it, and then I see Glenn on the track on the track that he was racing all week this week. And it's like, why this track instead of Bruno? It's like, not saying it's a bad track, but it's kind of like, well, okay, you have the choice between a track, you know, Il Notre Dame in Montreal, or the track that Glenn is racing on yesterday. Which one would you pick? You know? So you say you can't really blame them, but I can. It's like if people were asking...
Justin Slim Friesen says, I'm sure they have their reasons. Licensing and such.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that, you know, if Automobilista 2 can afford it, then probably iRacing can. And I'm not going to mention Project Cars because they went way over budget. They threw money right, left, and center and thinking that it would be the next best thing ever, and it wasn't. Kind of the reason why all the servers are closed and everything now. It's a major failure. It wasn't financially sound. Which is not the problem that iRacing has. You know, I'm guessing Monza costs an arm and a leg to license. It's one of the most favorite tracks in the world. On the other hand, hey, you got lots of people that are playing it and are willing to pay for it. Bruno is a great track. Compared to Yas Marina and Bahrain and
Justin Slim Friesen says, yeah, but you need that. It's worth their money.
oh, so is Bruno. It's in my top 5 favorite tracks of all time. You know, a lot of people don't know Mugello. But once you race there, you really like the track. It's like, wow, this is a great track. You know? Mugello is also one of my favorite tracks of all time. Oh, there's a lot of cars here. Lots of traffic.
Justin Slim Friesen says, nobody has heard of Bruno.
Well, nobody in North America. And I would say a lot of people in North America never heard of Mugello either. Everybody knows Monza. It's like not even everybody knows Imola.
Justin Slim Friesen says, way more have.
Bruno is more European. Whoa, you guys. Dang. Alright, got a little bit of damage there. I've been going around quite a bit. Oh, and I just was about to say, I haven't lost it. And then I lose it. I think this setup is pretty safe. Is it because my rear tires are too hot? I need to open that rear duct a bit. So yeah, the car that Paul gave me yesterday, the car is not in this game. So initially he was asking me to put it on a BMW and an LMP2. And then I'm like, are you sure? Because neither of these cars are similar. I mean, I guess the closest cars to them would be the LMP3s. And then he changed his mind. He's asking for the Ferrari instead of the BMW. Okay. I even think the Toyota hypercar would be a better match. I think my rear tires might be a little bit too toasty. That's the only thing we'll change to this setup. Everything else is nice and comfy now. Okay, gonna set up a smoke screen. And let's try a GT3 here. Let's try that Corvette. Let's go suicidal. The thing is that, you can see a design and it looks really nice, and then you come to this game, and then they put the number on the hood here, where the bottle of tequila would go. And then on the side of the car, there's a really nice stripe going through. And then, no, they decided to put some carbon fiber and numbers and stuff there. So it wrecks the side design, it wrecks the hood design. What were we doing? Oh yes, this and the Corvette. Where's the Corvette? But Bruno is a great track. It's like Mugello. I definitely like it more than Coda, and I like Coda. It's not in my top 5 tracks though. It's probably more in my top 25 tracks. And it seems like saying a lot, but given that there's like, what, 125 tracks in iRacing, top 25 is, a fifth. So I definitely think that you should have put that in there already.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I'm sure it is. Just like I'm sure there are hundreds of great tracks out there that aren't on Sims.
Probably. I know you would love it. What are we doing here? Oh, car setups. And we decided to go with balance.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I want Kyle Amy in iRacing.
See, that's another great track. Why isn't not in there? They probably got thousands of requests for that track as well. When you look at all the no-name little tracks that are in the game, like really? Why isn't that one in there yet? Don't tell me because the licensing is too expensive. iRacing. Whoa, dude.
Justin Slim Friesen says, yeah, but they can't have them all.
No, but, well, yes, they can eventually. But they kind of need to kind of have a list of what they're working on and what's coming up. Instead of just coming out with one track every 3 months. Put a road plan in or something. Like, you'd think that they'd come out with a map a month. LMU are about to run into this wall. Like, sure, they were talking about Daytona. But they're going to be putting the Asian...
Justin Slim Friesen says, they add some content every 3-ish months.
Like, LMU are going to go the Asian route sooner than later. So I don't know which tracks are in the Asian endurance circuit. But it is part of the WEC. Like, is Suzuka part of the Asian thing? Or is it just going to be more Bahrain and Shanghai? Or some other Chinese circuit? Man, I was looking at iRacing tracks. Like, from the get-go, there's 20 tracks I want. That's gonna be expensive. I don't know the cars in the game yet, so I don't know how expensive that would get. I wish I could try Automobilista again. I don't know if, like last year, they're going to have a month that everything's going to be free, and that I could try the game again. I don't hear many people talking about that game, except for those that play it, but you don't see it often referred to. And unfortunately, when I tried it out...
Justin Slim Friesen says, if you ever get iRacing, don't buy anything until you're out of rookies. So you don't waste money if you end up not liking the game.
Well, if you give me a car that I like and a track that I like, then why would I not like it? And strange as it might sound, if they had Bruno, I would already be playing it. How long does it take to get out of rookies, though? A month? If I play 2 hours a day, I don't know how have you tried Automobilista 2? I should probably just get the 2 free cars and 2 free tracks and see how it goes, how the force feedback feels. Ooh, turned a little bit too early there. This setup on this Corvette feels extremely good. Like, my brain isn't registering a difference much between this and the McLaren I used to drive.
Justin Slim Friesen says, also, I wouldn't recommend doing less than a 1-year sub. I pay Sonali would do a 2-year sub. First time subs get 40% off. Don't waste that discount on a monthly.
40% off.
Justin Slim Friesen says, yes, I have AMS too. It's uninstalled. LOL.
Yeah, that doesn't say much. How does the force feedback feel and stuff? See, when I got to try it last summer, I didn't have a force feedback wheel, so...
Justin Slim Friesen says, terrible IMHO.
Okay. Yeah, as much as I like Project Cars, the force feedback
Justin
is
Slim Friesen
extremely
says,
noisy.
though some cars feel real good. It's hit and miss.
It might not seem like it, but my livery folder is getting so big that it almost is equivalent to a game. I've got so many texture files and whatnot.
Justin Slim Friesen says, it feels, or felt nearly identical to PC2.
I tried PC2 once, and I kind of preferred PC3, so I uninstalled PC2 and stuck with PC3. But like I said, I didn't have force feedback back then, so
Justin Slim Friesen says, which is also uninstalled. LOL.
a lot of people like PC2 though. Ooh, I'm 6 seconds off, 7 seconds off. I don't think I can squeeze much more out of my driving this. And I am all over the place. Yeah, as soon as I start pushing it too much. I am just a really bad GT3 driver.
Justin Slim Friesen says, took me some time to realize that I don't need any more sims. Just a waste of time and money. Between iRacing, AC, and LMU I have all I'll ever need.
Okay, big question here. If I take a 2-year subscription, then in 6 months I decide that I don't like the game, can I cancel it? They're not gonna reimburse me anything, right? Because it's an upfront $200 thing and it's gone.
Justin Slim Friesen says, no reimbursement.
Yeah, Because you see, you know, saving 40% of 13 bucks a month ain't so bad, honestly. Like, if you told me, okay, well, the first time you purchase maps or cars, they'll give you 40% off, and you buy a whole bunch of them, because that would be worth it. But basically, the subscription is basically the same as LMU, race control. Except race control subscription gives me access to everything. I don't have to buy separate cars and tracks. But they're gonna have to start putting in some content into this game. Otherwise, long term, it's gonna die out.
Justin Slim Friesen says, bulk buy discounts are a thing in iRacing.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that I have to buy 6 things that I don't like to have 3 that I do. Oh, you could buy the GT3 class cars, and then 3/4 of them you don't like and you don't drive. But yeah, if it comes back to the same price as just buying the ones that you do like, then you might as well buy it in bulk. I don't know. I still have so many things to pay for in real life. You know, just trying to get a battery for my car is
Justin
a
Slim Friesen
pain in the
says,
butt.
and once you've bought 40 things, you get 20% off always. Even on single purchases.
Once you've bought 40 things, you get 20% off, even on single purchases. Okay. That's still a lot. That's 20 tracks and 20 cars. I'd be happy with that, because there are 20 tracks that I want. Yeah, LMU needs to start working on some content.
Justin Slim Friesen says, it ain't cheap.
No, it's not. Sometimes developers are working on things that they shouldn't. Like, this game needs more cars, more tracks. And for some reason, they're working on a single player mode, which is going to be super funny, because if you did not buy the car packs and the map packs in your solo career, when they get to the track that you don't own, well, you can redo a map that you already do own.
Justin Slim Friesen says, but it's also not as bad as a lot of guys claim. In the end, it's up to you if it's worth it. And for me, there's no doubt it is.
Man, I keep losing it here, though. This is twice that I lost it here. But overall, this car is very safe. It's just my driving so bad. Yeah, no, the question is not, is it worth it? I think it is. Having said that, it is expensive for somebody like me who's has limited income.
Justin Slim Friesen says, in fact, for me, there's more value in iRacing than LMU.
Well, me being, you know, financially poor, like, I'm not gonna argue on the value thing. I agree with you. Actually, I think both games offer great value for what you get. But on very limited income, it's just that one is, you know, more out of reach for my financial things. Like, you know, I still want a new wheel. I am thinking of also getting a new wheelbase, even though I don't need anything stronger. I do have to admit, though, I haven't had clipping in a very long time. I remember it used to clip like 5 or 6 times per race, per 1 hour race. And now if it clips once or twice in a day, I'm surprised. But I'm still thinking at some point updating my wheelbase. I am definitely wanting that new wheel. And that's the other thing. The new wheel is also heavier. So it kind of neutralizes the wheelbase strength, the heavier the wheel is. So I'm thinking if it makes such a big difference, then I'm gonna have to upgrade the wheelbase. But here in Quebec, we don't, you know, Canadian Tire doesn't deliver car batteries. So instead of paying $200 for a battery, it's gonna end up costing me $400. And yes, I could put $200 of gas and go to a Canadian Tire to buy the $200 battery, but I'm not saving, and I'm wearing out my vehicle even more. And I need to change the rack and pinion and 4 tie rods.
And says, I get it. After you get most cars and tracks that you really want, it's not much more than LMU on a yearly basis. But amassing those cars and tracks first is the big cost. Justin Slim Friesen says. So the first year or two is a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, like I agree, it's totally worth it. You get a lot of value for the money. You know? But the same thing could be said for buying a Ferrari, you know? It's like, oh, it'll only raise in value. Except for the Luce that they just came out with. But, you know, your Ferrari F40 is worth more now than it was when it came out. Great value, yeah. Can I afford it? Not really. I swear to God, though, if you had an F40, you would not be playing sim racing games. So yeah, I agree. Great value. I was looking at it, and man, to buy all the tracks, $2,500. That's a lot of monies. And I'm watching Glenn race yesterday, and I'm like, I don't really like this track.
Justin Slim Friesen says. And I renew my sub on Black Friday. Since I've been a member, there's been a 20% discount every year.
I was watching Glenn, and I don't really like the track that he's racing on, and he had to buy it to be able to do this week's events. It's like, ah, man.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Yeah. But are you really gonna buy oval tracks or cars?
Well, I'm definitely gonna be buying cars. I'm not sure. Well, yes. I'm gonna be buying one oval.
Justin Slim Friesen says. He buys everything. I'm much more picky. LOL.
Well, he seems to have a good job that he can afford it. That's the one thing, though. We never see him with the wheel. Oh, sorry, I forgot about my camera. Whoops. Wasn't paying attention there. Like, I wish we could see his wheel when he's driving. And yesterday was kind of the first time I kind of wanted a pedal shot because I wanted to see what was broken. Okay, so I'm actually faster than the Porsche. Ooh, you're squeezing me on the outside, dude. The Corvette is faster than the Porsche. They've changed a lot of stuff about these cars. I remember when Porsches were passing everybody. Same thing with the McLarens. Those got nerfed into oblivion.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Also, each season is 12 weeks. And if you participate in 8 or more race weeks, you get some iRacing credits. Up to $10 a season. It's not much, but it's something. Almost a free car every season.
Yeah, if you participate in everything, but to participate in everything, you need to buy all the maps, the tracks, to be able to participate. Yeah, I'd probably be stuck in rookies for 2 years, the first 2 years. Just because I can't afford nothing.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I haven't had to buy a track in years, and I can do at least 8 weeks every season.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, if you've had the game for a long time and you've, you know, slowly added stuff as they were coming out with stuff. I get it. Like, I don't like Sebring, but I'm guessing that everybody likes racing on it, so I have to buy it. You know, and that prevents me from buying a track that I do want.
Justin Slim Friesen says, just like every other sim ever, there are track favorites, and they get reused all the time.
Well, I wanted to buy Montreal, but everybody wants to race on Sebring. Oh, man. Like, am I interested? Yes. Can I afford it? No. Okay, well, I can drive both the Ferrari and the Corvette on this track without losing it too much. I've done, what, 14 laps, lost it twice? That ain't so bad. And I haven't changed anything on this car. Not one iota of anything. Whereas the Ferrari, I did have to change a couple of things. How slow am I, though? Six seconds. Almost 7 seconds off pace. So it has better speed in the straights, but I can't drive it to the corners. What's going on online? I don't want to do these hours or 45-minute races, and I definitely don't want to do this one. See, that P3 is the car that looks the most like what he gave me. And that's not the car that he wants delivery on. Man, such a headache. I like this game, but they're gonna have to do something at some point. Instead of the single player career. Ooh! Okay, practice on a track that I haven't been on with the Ferrari. Let's try this one. Yeah, I was looking at the solo career that they're developing for this game, and it's like, well, you could start off as a rich kid or a poor kid. So, Average Joe versus Lance Stroll. Like, really? Is that what I want to do in this game? No. Do I want more tracks and more cars? Yes. So why are the developers working on a single player campaign? And for the people that don't own the tracks, they'll have to reuse the tracks that they do own. You got 10 races, but you got 6 tracks. So there's 4 races that you're going to be using the same tracks over and over again. It makes no sense. Why do they do stuff like this? That's where these companies are going to lose money. You give more tracks, more cars, you get new people coming into the game.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I'll be honest. When I first got iRacing I really didn't like it. ACC was my game. But ACC came out with an update which wrecked the game for me, so I started putting many hours into iRacing. Justin Slim Friesen says, once I started getting used to it, whenever I go to another sim I just feel it's lacking that certain something.
Well, I kind of get it, because, like, how can I say? When I first got the wheel, and everybody was telling me, yes, that's the way that it's supposed to be. Like, I don't know if I... Whoa, this car does not turn on cold tires. Oh, this is a cold tire server. Ooh.
Justin Slim Friesen says, driving well on iRacing feels like more of an accomplishment. More satisfying.
Like, Viking and everybody else was telling me, yes, 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 that's the way it's supposed to be. But everything was reverse. And it took me 2 weeks to figure out that I needed to invert the force feedback. Now I don't need to do it anymore, because apparently they've inverted it in the software. So we don't need to invert it anymore. But for the first 2 weeks that I got my wheel and playing this game, it felt really, really bad. And then I would play Project Cars because it just felt more natural. But now that I've got the settings up for this car, and I've gotten used to it, now I go to Project Cars, and everything feels bad and off. You know, so it's like, I like the car selection, I like the track selection, I don't like the force feedback, it doesn't feel good. It feels like it was made for a rumble pad more than a direct drive.
Justin Slim Friesen says, same here. We've been over this before. A few times.
Yep, we have. Ooh, Oh, did he just spin out too? Yep, he just spun out too. I really hate the cold tires in this game though. For hypercars, it is instant death. Man, that BMW is going all over the place. Unfortunately, going sideways the 2 times that I did kind of flat spot the tires a bit. I got a little bit of vibration in the car. It was funny yesterday when you were asking me, how are the flat spots? Flat spots were actually non-existent. I was just losing grip on the tires for some reason. Like, my tires weren't overly hot or anything, but...
Justin Slim Friesen says. But yet, the invert FFB caught me out as well. Though everyone was nuts saying how good the game felt for a good 10 minutes. LOL.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was preaching how good this game was, and I couldn't drive in a straight line. And I have like the weakest wheelbase available, and I'm like, man. And people are like, yeah, man, you know, it's a workout. I got a 60 Newton meter thing, and yeah, I'm sweaty and stuff when I finish sim racing. Alright, man. If that's your idea of fun, we're gonna have differences of opinions. Ooh, another Canadian, Schneider. And I hate it when I can't put it in first gear. Let's keep it in second, I guess. And my tires are still not up to temperature.
Justin Slim Friesen says. It's like, it's not a workout. It doesn't feel like a car, LOL.
No, it doesn't. It really didn't feel natural or anything, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that sim racers are like this woke people that think that what the way that they think is normal, but it's not. It's like that competition they had a week or 2 ago, where a well-known female athlete just decided to retire. After an event, after coming in second. It's like she was...
Justin Slim Friesen says. Then one toggle, and all made sense.
Yep. 2 weeks ago, there was this strong woman competition. And the current reigning world champion came in second. And she was like the only person that noticed that the person coming in first was actually a guy. And the guy did not divulge that he was a guy. So everybody was saying, well, the world's strongest woman is a man. And afterwards, the organizers and stuff. Ooh! The officials decided to change that around and gave her the title. They actually tried reaching out to the person that came in first, and that person never called back or anything. Did not want to give back the trophy. So they had to make another first place trophy for the actual winner now. But yeah, some people think it's normal having men compete in women's sports. And some people are like, yep, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's normal. And for me, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, no, it's not. There's a reason why we separated these sports thousands of years ago. So yeah, for 2 weeks, men, it did not make sense. I'm like, sim racers, this is not sim racing. Oh, did you see, what is it? They came out with a motorcycle sim. I forget who's making it. A well-known company, Track something. They're making a motorcycle simulator. And everybody's like, oh, this is gonna be so awesome. And I'm like, no, because you don't have the centrifugal forces that you have in a motorcycle. When you're leaning on a motorcycle, actually, there's a force pushing you back up on the motorcycle. And everybody in the comments were telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. Saying, yeah, everybody said the same thing about car sims. It didn't feel real, and it feels more real than cars now. I'm like, okay. I'm getting motorcycle advice from people that have never ever ride a motorcycle in their life. And it was like...
Justin Slim Friesen says. Also, the pivot point looked wrong to me. I think I would notice it, and it would throw me off.
Oh, you saw that motorcycle rig there that they're trying to sell for $2,000? Everybody was saying, just one other guy knew exactly what I was talking about. And agreed with me.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Yeah.
Only one other guy in the chat knew exactly what I was talking about. All the 250 others were saying how wrong I am, and everybody said the same thing about car sims. I'm like, no, you're gonna need bungee ropes if you want it to be realistic. So when you're tilting one side, the bungee rope is pulling you upwards. so you actually feel like there's something pulling on you when you go down on one side. Only one guy got what I was saying.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it would be cool. But it seemed to me that I would feel disconnected."
Exactly. Totally disconnected. But they seem to have the counter steering nailed, though. That's another thing people don't understand. When you're turning right, you're actually holding the handlebars in the opposite direction. And a lot of people are arguing about that as well. I love it when people who have never ridden motorcycles tell me how nuts I am. Oh, I've ridden bicycles before. I never did that. Dude, it's because you don't even notice that you're doing it on a bicycle. Because it's the same thing on a bicycle. Man, it's taken me forever to warm up these tires. 7 laps and they're still not warm. Really hard for me to judge the setup here.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Like a bike leans from the contact point at the tires and road, not the horizontal center line. If that makes sense."
Well, yes and no. But you're just going in the opposite direction of 1 degree, so you don't really notice it at the handlebars. But yes, that 1 degree at the handlebar, when you get to the wheel that hits the pavement, leaning makes a big difference. So people are doing it and they don't even notice it. They just think that they're leaning one side or the other and it makes all the difference, but that 1 degree that you're steering in the opposite direction is still steering in the opposite direction. So they seem to have done that on the sim rig adequately. Like at low speeds when you're upright on the bike, you are turning the handle the right way. And as soon as you start leaning the bike, then you're counter steering. It's just that once you're tilted, man, you know, you kind of feel like your gravity is pulling you to the ground and just falling off the bike. Rather than leaning on a cloud of air, cushion of air. Okay, tire temperatures are getting up there. Now how is this car gonna feel? I'm still going wide. Dang it. Man, this car likes to squeal a lot. Okay, well, I'm within 4 seconds. It's kind of where I like to be.
Justin Slim Friesen says, are you saying that if you are turning and leaning left that the steering will be slightly to the right of center?
If I'm leaning left, then yes. The steering is going right. Like you're leaning this way and you're leaning that way. So on the side that you're leaning on air, you're pushing on the handlebars. So the wheel's facing outwards when you're turning inwards. So far I haven't needed to do any changes to this setup, and it feels good. And I'm within 5 seconds of the leader, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I might start driving the Ferrari now. Because it seems the car can accelerate faster, so I'm gaining a second by just driving the way that I usually do. Oh, I forgot about the camera again. Dang, I'm there on the camera, and yes, if you're doing this, it goes that way.
Justin Slim Friesen says, you sure? Cause that makes no sense. Now what would make sense is your steering would be less than the actual amount that you're turning.
Okay, I'll wait until the camera gets in here. Bum bum bum. I need to go live. Okay. Oh, am I buffering now? Why am I buffering? Yes, it's buffering though. If you're leaning, you're pushing. So on the side that you're leaning, you're pushing, so the wheel's that way, but you're going this way and turning that way. So in the direction that you're leaning is the direction that you're turning, but you're pushing on the handlebars so the wheel faces outwards. So yes, it seems like it's very counter logical, but that's how it works. And people like to argue till the end of time, but I've taught a lot of people how to ride motorcycles. So, yeah. The only time that you're turning the motorcycle in the direction that you want to go is when you're at the gas pump and you're trying to get closer or trying to move past somebody or parking the bike.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I think physics might have an argument against you there.
No. No. It has everything to do with the way that the wheel is rounded, right? The wheel is not like a car where it's flat, it's rounded. So by turning it a certain way, you get more contact with the pavement. And the rotations and all that. So physics agrees with everything that I say. I'm just not a physics expert to be able to explain it to you. But when you're riding a motorcycle, you lean and you push on the side that you're leaning, so that the wheel goes in the opposite direction of where you're turning, but that's how it works. I'll find a video on YouTube for you and give you the link.
So does skating or skiing work the same?
Not that I know of. But I've never skated. Well, I did skate in my life because being in Canada, but like my parents did not tie them my skates.
Justin Slim Friesen says, why not?
Well, for one, the skates are flat, same like the skis. And you've got two of them on the front. So there's just one that is angled.
Justin Slim Friesen says, you lean in those as well.
Yeah, but both surfaces are flat. And you got two surfaces. I'll find a video and I'll link it to you. There must be thousands of videos explaining that. Because you won't find a single video explaining the opposite.
Justin says, what about a unicycle?
Okay. I don't know. I've never ridden a unicycle, but it's a bicycle wheel, so I guess if he's leaning left to turn left, then the wheel would be pointing right. But I never in my life would even try a unicycle, because just 'cause. But I'll find a video that explains it to you and explains what I'm telling you.
Justin Slim Friesen says, alright. We'll agree to disagree.
I'll send you a link to a video. They'll all be saying the same thing. Motorcycle, counter steer, physics. Google it or search it on YouTube. You lean in one direction and you're pushing on the thing so that the wheel goes the opposite way. I know, it doesn't make sense, but that's how it works. That's all I'll say about that. And the worst part of it is that
Justin Slim Friesen says, I'm on it.
The worst part of it is that when you explain that to people, their brain kind of goes haywire and short circuits. But if you don't tell people this, they will just do it naturally. That's the weird part of it. You give people motorcycles and you tell them to go around the cones in the parking lot, they'll do it naturally. And then when you're explaining to them how the bike works, and they're like arguing against you that no, that's not what I'm doing, but that's exactly what they're doing. It's a fun topic. I'm just not a physics person to explain it to people, but that's how it works. I didn't invent the wheel, I just know how to use it. I can't explain to you how the wheel works. It works, and that's how you use it. Like, I know if you make yourself,
Justin Slim Friesen says. Okay. This is what you are referring to, I think. Justin Slim Friesen says. Countersteering is the secret to initiating a turn. To turn the bike left, you must briefly push the left handlebar forward, which points the front wheel slightly to the right.
To turn the bike left, you must briefly push. Well, I would not say that it's briefly, because you're doing it pretty much the entire time you're turning. Like, yes, for a lot of people, that's what initiates the lean in. Now, depending on how wide or how tight you need to turn, you either need to adapt that or lean even more. You know, there are different ways of turning really tight. You can either give it more counter steer or lean the bike more. I tend to lean the bike like crazy. I love leaning bikes. So I can turn on a dime, but I'm also, scraping my knees on the ground. So I don't need as much counter steer. But you're still counter steering. What they're talking about there is initiating the thing. So you do that and then it leans the bike. And then leaning the bike does the work. But you're still counter steering, depending on how wide and how big of a curve you're in and a turn you're doing and all that. I know, it's crazy. But you got it. Basically, Google is saying that. Crazy, crazy stuff. It boggles the mind. But you know what? Don't think about it. Just go buy yourself a motorcycle and go riding and enjoy it. And you don't need a super fast super bike to enjoy it either. Although, I wouldn't recommend necessarily a 125cc unless you're going motocrossing, but a two-cycle engine for motocross, maybe. But 250 and up, you got plenty to have fun with for a long, long time. You can lean a 250 bike just as much as you can lean a liter bike. It's all about having fun. So, okay, 4 o'clock, time for me to think about what I'm going to do for supper. which is probably going to be hamburgers. Probably be streaming tonight. I don't know. I don't feel like doing the gold races today. I might just host the race instead. We'll see how that goes. Let's have fun for Friday night. That's what I say. So, okay, Justin.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Hi. It seems like at a fast enough speed you absolutely do countersteer.
If you're leaning the bike, you're countersteering. How much varies on how fast you're going, how wide the corner is, and all that, but...
Justin Slim Friesen says, even mid-corner. I'll eat crow on that.
Yep, even mid-corner. But there's a lot of techniques. You'll see some people that keep the bike straight, but they are completely on the side of the bike. They're using their body as a counterweight so that they don't have to countersteer as much, but they're using all their weight on one side of the bike, but they're keeping the bike straight up. But people that are completely leaned on their bike, yeah, it's super interesting. But like I said, it's not as interesting as actually riding the bike. Because you don't think about all of this when you're riding, you're just doing it. I can't tell you how many degrees on how fast you're going or whatnot. You're on the bike and you just feel it and you're doing it. Like I said, there's people...
Justin Slim Friesen says, true.
But like I've seen some people that they don't want to countersteer the things, so they are completely on the side of their bike. Their bike is completely straight, and they're leading themselves into the corner to be able to turn the bike. But they don't want to countersteer. They're completely on the side of the bike. But the bike is straight up so that they don't countersteer because they're not getting it.
Justin Slim Friesen says, all right. Later, Jeeps.
Later, Justin. Fun as always. Thank you so much, buddies.